Among the most intelligent animals on Earth, corvids, which include crows, ravens, and jays, have captivated scientists for decades. These birds belong to the same family as the common raven, Corvus corax, a species found across the northern hemisphere. With brains larger relative to body size than most other birds, they possess cognitive abilities that rival those of great apes. Their intelligence manifests in problem-solving, tool use, and complex social interactions that were once thought impossible for animals without hands. What makes ravens so smart isn't just the size of their brain, but how it's organized. Their telencephalon, the part responsible for learning and memory, is disproportionately large compared to other birds. This region shows neuron density similar to that found in primates. Scientists have discovered that ravens can remember the location and type of food they cached for up to several months, storing this information in spatial memory networks that rival those of dogs. This cognitive capacity enables them to solve multi-step problems that require planning and foresight. In the wild, ravens demonstrate remarkable tool use abilities that rival those of primates. They will deliberately select appropriate twigs or leaves, modify them by stripping bark or shaping the ends, then use these tools to extract insects from crevices or retrieve food from difficult locations. In experimental settings, ravens have solved puzzles requiring them to combine multiple objects, like using a small stick to retrieve a larger stick from a box, then using that larger stick to reach food. This sequential problem-solving demonstrates an understanding of cause and effect that emerges from complex cognition rather than simple conditioning. Ravens live in complex social groups with established hierarchies that shift dynamically based on relationships and resources. Unlike many birds that rely on dominance displays alone, ravens engage in reciprocal behaviors, helping each other find food, mobbing predators together, and even showing preference for allies in competitive situations. They maintain long-term social bonds that can span years, remembering individual faces and interactions with remarkable precision. When conflicts arise, ravens don't simply flee, they engage in calculated displays of aggression and submission that reflect deep social knowledge. In a landmark study, researchers tested whether ravens could remember what, where, and when they cached food. Ravens were given different types of food and allowed to cache them in various locations. Weeks later, when tested, they successfully retrieved the correct food from the correct locations, demonstrating not just spatial memory but also the ability to match specific memories to specific contexts. This suggests that ravens store information in a way that allows them to access precise details when needed, a cognitive feat comparable to that of dogs and even some primates. Perhaps most remarkably, ravens demonstrate the ability to plan for future needs, an ability once thought unique to humans and great apes. In controlled experiments, ravens chose tools they would need later to solve a problem, even when those tools were hidden away and irrelevant to their immediate situation. They didn't simply react to present circumstances but anticipated future requirements. This forward-thinking behavior suggests a level of mental time travel that allows them to simulate future scenarios and prepare accordingly, fundamentally changing how we understand animal cognition. Ravens exhibit emotional responses that go beyond simple instinctual reactions. They show clear signs of grief when family members die, often remaining silent and still near the body before resuming normal activities. They display play behavior, sliding down snowbanks, tossing objects in the air, and engaging in mock fights that serve no survival purpose. Most significantly, ravens demonstrate empathy, consoling distressed companions and showing concern for individuals in their social group. These behaviors suggest a rich inner emotional life that rivals that of mammals. When faced with novel challenges, ravens approach problems systematically rather than randomly trying solutions. They observe their environment carefully, identify key elements, and experiment with different approaches until they find one that works. In one famous experiment, ravens solved a multi-cage puzzle where they had to choose the correct key from several options, use it to open a specific compartment, and then retrieve food. They succeeded on their first or second attempt, demonstrating not just intelligence but strategic thinking that involves hypothesis formation and testing. Ravens communicate through an elaborate system of vocalizations and body language that varies by context and audience. Different calls warn of specific predators, signal food locations, or maintain social bonds within the group. They can modify their calls based on who is listening, suggesting an understanding of how others perceive information. Juveniles learn these communication patterns through observation and practice, much like human children acquire language. This sophisticated communication system allows ravens to coordinate complex group activities and share critical survival information. Ravens are exceptional learners who acquire new skills by watching others in their social group. When a member discovers a food source or solves a novel problem, nearby ravens observe and often replicate the behavior without direct instruction. This social learning allows knowledge to spread rapidly through raven communities. Researchers have documented ravens teaching each other how to open complex food containers and navigate obstacle courses. This capacity for cultural transmission, passing knowledge across generations, places ravens among the most culturally sophisticated non-human animals. In a groundbreaking study, ravens passed the mirror test, the gold standard for self-recognition in animals. When presented with a mirror and a mark placed on their body that they could only see through reflection, ravens used the mirror to investigate the mark and later applied this knowledge to solve problems. This ability to use a mirror as a tool for self-awareness represents a significant cognitive milestone. While only a handful of species have demonstrated this capability, ravens join an elite group that includes elephants, dolphins, and great apes. Understanding raven intelligence has important implications for their conservation and management. These birds adapt remarkably well to human-modified environments, but their complex social needs mean they require access to diverse habitats and social groups. Conservation efforts must consider not just food sources and nesting sites, but also the cognitive and social enrichment that ravens need to thrive. As we continue to uncover the depths of raven intelligence, we gain new perspectives on what it means to be a conscious, feeling being sharing our planet, an insight that should inform how we coexist with these remarkable creatures. Ravens possess one of the most extraordinary memories in the animal kingdom. Researchers have found that these birds can remember the faces of humans who threatened them years after the initial encounter. In controlled experiments, scientists wearing masks-like disguises approached ravens in a way that suggested danger. Years later, when those same researchers returned to the same area, the ravens immediately recognized them and reacted with aggressive calls and dive-bombing behavior. What makes this even more remarkable is that ravens don't just hold grudges individually, they share them with their offspring and even unrelated members of their flock. Young ravens learn to recognize threatening humans by watching adults react aggressively. This cultural transmission means that a single negative encounter can echo through generations, creating long-lasting wariness toward specific individuals or groups. One famous study conducted in the Pacific Northwest involved researchers capturing and handling ravens while wearing a distinctive Halloween-style mask. The birds were released, but their reactions were recorded. When the same mask appeared years later, even on different researchers, the ravens responded with the same intense hostility, proving that their memory spans far beyond typical animal cognition. When a raven identifies a perceived threat, it doesn't attack directly. Instead, it emits a series of harsh, guttural calls that alert other ravens to the danger. This triggers a coordinated response where multiple birds join in dive bombing and scolding the target. The behavior is so effective that researchers have noted it can persist for over 5 years, making it one of the longest documented grudges in the animal world. Ravens belong to the corvid family, which includes crows, jays, and magpies, all known for exceptional problem-solving abilities. Their brains are proportionally large compared to their body size, rivaling those of primates. This intelligence allows them to use tools, solve complex puzzles, and even plan for future events, behaviors once thought to be exclusive to humans and a select few mammals. Within raven communities, complex social hierarchies develop, and individuals must constantly navigate relationships with dozens of others. Those who remember past interactions, whether positive or negative, gain a significant advantage. A raven that once helped another may receive aid in return, while one that posed a threat can expect retaliation from multiple members of the flock. As urban expansion brings humans and ravens into closer contact, these grudges sometimes manifest in surprising ways. In cities and towns, ravens have been observed targeting specific individuals who have previously disturbed them. Garbage collectors, construction workers, and even joggers have reported being followed or harassed by ravens that seem to recognize them from past encounters. Ravens communicate through a wide variety of vocalizations, each carrying specific meaning. When they spot a threat, they emit what researchers call alarm calls, short, sharp notes that convey information about the nature and location of danger. Other ravens respond not only to the call itself but also to the identity of the caller, adjusting their behavior based on how reliable that particular bird's warnings have been in the past. Scientists have been studying raven behavior for decades, with some research projects spanning more than 30 years. These long-term studies have revealed patterns that would be impossible to detect in shorter observations. For instance, researchers have documented ravens forming alliances, reconciling after conflicts, and even holding what appears to be grudges against entire families of humans across multiple generations. Beyond individual memory, ravens appear to possess cultural knowledge that accumulates over time. Flocks develop unique traditions, specific routes for foraging, preferred nesting sites, and even distinct vocal dialects. This cultural layer adds depth to their grudge-holding behavior, as a raven may inherit not just personal memories but also collective knowledge about which humans pose a threat. From an evolutionary perspective, the ability to remember and transmit information about threats is a powerful survival tool. Ravens that avoid dangerous humans live longer and reproduce more successfully. Their grudges serve as a form of collective intelligence, allowing entire populations to adapt to changing environments and human pressures. This makes them not just clever birds, but resilient survivors. The raven's capacity for long-term memory and grudge-holding reveals a level of emotional complexity that challenges our understanding of animal consciousness. These birds remind us that intelligence comes in many forms, and that the natural world holds mysteries far deeper than we often realize. Their legacy is written not in stone, but in the enduring memory of the wild.